Hey, dailies across the world. I'm so glad you could join for another special edition of the Driven Daily Show, a show that promises to keep you driven on a daily. My name is Randall, and I've got a special guest today. She's a multimedia personality, and it seems like she's taking over not just radio, not just TV, not just the podcasting space, but taking over different countries, first in South Africa and now in Dubai. Dailies, let's put our hands together and let's give her a Driven Daily welcome. And let's welcome none other than Jo-Dee Butler. Welcome, Jo-Dee.
Hey, how's it going? Oh, I love that. Thank you. Thanks so much. So nice to be here.
It's so good to have you. By the way, I couldn't help but hear a little Boston in the background. How's the family doing?
She's good. She's great. She has adjusted so well to life in the UAE. She's been amazing. She's great. It was also her first start and introduction to, life at school, which was great. And she just loves it, loves it. She's thriving. So that's good.
Life at school. Which grade is she in right now?
So she's in, so it's a UK curriculum. So she's in year 1. So that would be just before what we would know as grade 1. So she would actually start her grade 1 toward the end of this year, the middle of this year in August, which is when the new school year would start.
Okay. So you are saying that, so she had her first couple of days already?
No. So since we came last year, she kind of fell into the middle of the school year when we came last year. So she came and finished one complete year or half of the year, and now she's just started the second year of school. But she'll only start her, what we would know as first grade, a little bit later on this year. It's very confusing when you don't have school that starts and ends in a calendar year, like we are used to.
Yeah.
But she's been amazing. So she's been at school for a full year now, and she loves it.
No, that's awesome, and we'll definitely go into motherhood and everything that you are doing. But Jo-Dee, the show is yours today, and I know sometimes the little one steals the show, but I'm glad we get to spend quality time with you. And if you just joined us right now, we want to take the time out just to thank you for giving us your heartbeat, spending it with your time with myself and Jo-Dee. Now, Jo-Dee, you do so much things. There's radio, there's TV, there's podcasting, and we're definitely going to go through that journey. I just want to take it just on a basic level right now. How are you doing at this moment? Are you overwhelmed? Are you balancing things? How's life with Jo-Dee right now?
Life with Jo-Dee is, we are getting back into the swing of things, and it has taken a while. I think since moving to the UAE, it's been a full year now. We just celebrated 1 year since moving, because we moved.
Come on.
Made it.
Yeah.
And everyone says the first year is the hardest. So it's definitely been a little difficult, challenging, surprising, hard. But it's been fantastic. And the fact that we've made it for 1 full year has been amazing. So that's been good. But today I think I'm feeling great. I feel pretty today. I feel good today. I had a good day at work. My kid's happy. I'm meeting someone new, so that's fantastic. And I get to talk about myself, so I'm happy. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good, and I have been feeling a little bit more motivated than I was maybe a couple of weeks ago, because I was feeling like I was in a bit of a slump.
Okay, and we'll definitely get into into that kind of talk and aspect a little bit later. Jo-Dee, I'm glad you're feeling otherwise, in a better space. You say you're feeling pretty. I couldn't help but see, footage of you online. And speaking about pretty, she's not just a radio, TV, podcasting. She's also a semi-professional video vixen. 7 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
I was scrolling online and I saw it, and I'm like, should I bring it up? Shouldn't I bring it up? But it's out already. And
listen,
I must
that's
say,
the highlight of my career. Please bring it up. Always. Highlight of my career. I mean, Video Vixen was at the top of my list, and I ticked it, so I'm happy.
but no, Jo-Dee, speaking about everything that you do right now, you do have the B-side podcast that you do, and I couldn't help but when I watched it, I was saying, and I told my brother back home in South Africa when I was back home in around 3 weeks ago, I told him, when I watched it and I showed it to him and I said, Theo, this is the quality of production that we missing, man. You
I mean,
know?
isn't the production just so amazing? Besides the
Hey,
content, besides the
maar
hosts
waar
and the
het julle dit
guests.
gedoen?
But
Is it in the
listen,
Kaap or is it it's not in the UAE, right?
no. In Cape Town, for sure. It's been something that I've wanted to do for a long time. It's just a little brainchild that I had,
Mm,
this little passion project that I wanted to do, and hopefully, it grows into something more because it's something that I wanted to do and a conversation that I wanted to have with certain people for a long time. And I don't think I even spoke to everyone that was on my list to speak to, but time constraints and things, it just didn't all work out. But I mean, I got to speak to some of the most amazing people that were on my list. And I'm lucky enough to call those people friends and to call those people colleagues. Um,
yeah.
but we did it in Cape Town. I was back in Cape Town last year. And I was just like, listen, I've got this thing that I want to do, this idea. Um, I have some time. I was on holiday in Cape Town for 2 weeks,
Okay.
and I
Dis né? Op your holiday.
on my holiday, but
Mm,
it's something that I wanted to do. And I was like, listen, I'm not going to be here again. I don't know when I'm coming back again. And I don't know when I'm going to have the opportunity to speak to who I want to speak to,
mhm.
um, anytime soon again. So I spoke to some people that I knew in the industry and got put in contact with the guys from Go Binge, who
Okay.
have done, multiple different kind of
TK?
this
Mhm.
kind of content,
Yeah.
and they are just great at what they do. So a friend of mine, Francois van Loo, he put me in contact with them, and they came out, and we had to kind of go back and forth, like, when are you available, when am I available, I need to do this. And then I had this group of people that I wanted to interview, and we all just had to align. And then as it came down to it, because I put a week aside for it, everyone was available on 2 days. So we
What?
literally pulled all that off in probably a day and a half. We
Sure.
shot back to back, and I was the guys at the Taj Hotel in Cape Town were
Okay.
nice enough to give me a space,
Uh,
and I've worked with them before, so that was really great. And we had this beautiful location at the beautiful hotel in the middle of Cape Town, backdrop of Table
uh,
Mountain, and the guys came out, and they came through for me. So Go Binge, if you're ever looking to do great quality content, video content, those are your guys, because they did everything for me. The sound, and it's so amazing that you say that, because you're working in radio, and you work in a space where people value things like the audio quality.
yeah.
And a lot of people who watched that would say to me, the sound quality was really good on that, or like, it looked really amazing. And that was one of the things that would constantly come up. So it
Mm.
just kind of shows how great they are at what they do. So yeah, shout out to the guys from Go Binge.
No, shout out to the guys at Go Binge, and yes, I mean it's almost like it's saying what I'm doing is really impactful when you get feedback like that.
Yeah.
But even more deeper, Jody, when you hear content of, like, with Jody Lee Domberg, and just hearing her story, you don't hear that story on SABC3 when she's on TV. You can only hear it in a platform like
Yeah.
yourself. So it's really impactful. And I know you do the series currently on parenting. Is this kind of the theme that you're going to be going on for the rest of the show, B-side, or is there going to be different themes, or is this
I
kind of what
think
you're
there will
doing?
definitely be different themes, because look, not all of my guests are going to have the experience of being a parent.
Yeah.
But like you saw, I had Siv on, who is someone who has expressed his desire to be a parent. But I think what I wanted to create was a space where we could talk, because the thing is, when it comes to interviewing people, especially like in the line of work that I'm normally talking to musicians. First of all, I'm normally talking to producers, maybe actresses, or people in that industry. And we're normally just talking about their work. But I'm always interested in the person. I'm interested in
Yeah.
what your relationship is with, your mom like. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Do you have siblings? Did you do well at school? Like, those are the kind of things that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
So just kind of getting deeper into who the person is, because I just find personalities so interesting. What kind of person are you? What kind of legacy do you want to leave in the world besides your body of work?
So true. And I think we both know, especially in an industry where you are in front of a camera, many a times you can mix up your persona on camera with the person that you really are, and you're actually two different people. You
Yeah.
can be two different people, and like you say, we want to find out who is the actual person behind screen. Now, Jo-Dee, I couldn't help but just look at your name, Jo-Dee, and let's going to start from the basics.
Yeah.
Jo-Dee, is it spelled that way? Joe?
A
Okay.
lot of people ask me that, like, did you make up that spelling? Is that like a stage name? I'm like, no, I'm just a colored girl who had a name that was double barrel. Hello. Have you never
Okay.
met like someone with two or like half names?
Clearly, we haven't. Clearly.
No, but honestly, it's just no. That's the way my dad's name was Joe. He was called Joe. So yeah, Jo-Dee, and my mom just thought it was, I don't know, cool to have it spelled with a hyphen in the middle. So yeah, I haven't
No.
met anyone else whose name is spelled that way.
Yeah. No, I
But
hear
yeah.
you. Speaking about your dad, and we're definitely going to take it from the origin. I know you mentioned that your dad wasn't, with you for a large portion of your life. I think
Mhm.
you mentioned he passed away
He did. Yeah, when
very
I was
young.
about 8 years old. Yeah. So I
Okay.
grew up in a single parent household for most of my life.
Okay. Okay. Now I hear you, and of course, you mentioned your sister Kim Engelbrecht.
Hmm.
What's your relationship with Kim? I know you guys are in two different worlds right now, physically, in terms of spaces.
Yeah.
How is that? How has that been for you with having a sister? Because I know my brother is all the way in South Africa. I'm over here in Canada.
Yeah.
What's it like for you?
Well, it's been just, you mean just the distance?
The distance slash relationship, yes.
Yeah, we've always had a good relationship. I think my sister, she's a couple of years older than me, and I think the distance is not so like problematic for us because we have a good relationship. We get along really well. We speak often, and she was actually just here in December. My family came down to come and visit me, so she
Okay.
was here. They left like a couple of weeks ago, and we've always had a great relationship. But we also used to having distance because she lived and worked in Johannesburg for many years. So when I was in my teens, she had just turned, I think, 19 or 20 or something. And then she moved away and she lived in Johannesburg for 10 years. So growing up, it was always we always had that long distance relationship for a big chunk of,
Okay.
my childhood. So that's something that we kind of used to doing. And she's
Yeah.
always like somewhere or on location. So that long distance relationship has always been something that we had to become comfortable with.
Yeah.
But we've always had a good relationship. I think she, out of all my siblings, kind of, we understand each other, I think, the best. We're
Uh,
very different,
okay.
but we definitely understand each other, I think,
No, I hear.
most of the time.
In yeah, in which
Most.
ways would you say you are different? Just maybe one example of.
I'm way smarter than she is.
You know what?
I'm
We
just
are
kidding.
going to, yeah.
Funnier, more
Okay.
charismatic.
Okay.
No,
Clearly,
I'm just
there's way
kidding.
too
No,
much.
I'm joking. But I think we are just, I think, different in, I don't know, just the way that we approach life. I think I learn a lot from her, and I think she can learn a lot from me in different ways. I think I'm more, I'm a lot more outgoing than she is.
Okay.
She's kind of like chilled and very like, laid back.
Yeah.
We
Have you
I'm like, where we
ha-
going? Let's go. Let's do something.
have you always been this way, Jo-Dee? Where being an extroverted individual like this, and if you
Yeah, I
haven't,
mean,
mm,
no, for sure. I definitely think I've always been outgoing. I've always been, that kind of person. Um, but I definitely do like my own space sometimes. I mean, I love my alone time. But for most of the time, I am the person that likes to be social. But I'm also very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very picky about who I spend my time with.
okay,
So
yeah,
I have a good circle of friends, and those are the people that I like to hang out with. And in my job, I normally find myself meeting different people and going to events and things, which isn't always my favorite thing to do.
really,
I mean, it can be a lot of fun, but I would prefer to have a real conversation with someone that I know. And you know
yeah.
but I
No,
mean, it's
no,
always great meeting new people.
no. It is. It is, and it's interesting because you made a large life decision. It's a big move. Many people would
Yeah.
want to do this. They say, you know what, when I have money, I'm going to do this. But many people don't realize some of the challenges that comes with leaving your home. So moving from South Africa to Dubai. Can you take us through some of the highlights, but also some of the lowlights that people don't know what it's like when it comes to being in a different country and away from home?
Okay, what do you want me to start with, the highlights or the lowlights?
You know what, Jo-Dee, I think one thing I must say that you are quite a cheeky individual, and I get it, and I love it. I love it because it just shows that you are not afraid of bringing who you really are on screen. I was watching you on SABC3, and just you going back and forth and being cheeky and just being Jo-Dee. Phenomenal. We can
Thanks, I
start with,
appreciate that.
yeah. No, we can start off with anywhere you'd like to start, Jo-Dee.
Look, I think initially it was a very exciting and scary thing, but it's something that I've always wanted to do. And like before my husband and I got married, even like it was always something that that was on my list of things to do. And he was on board with that, was living and working abroad.
Okay.
I've done it before when I was quite young, a school leaver, and I went to go and work abroad for a little bit. But I always wanted to do that in my professional capacity, when I was older, and actually, stay there for an extended period of time, which is what I'm doing now. And when the opportunity came, we were like, oh, let's make this happen. Let's go. If not now, when? We saying about doing this, and it was kind of something amazing, an opportunity that we couldn't pass up. And then also just an adventure, why not want to go and experience something different, do something different, learn something more. And I think if you ever have the opportunity to do that, who wants to live a boring life? I mean, you want to stay in the same place and some people are content like that. But I think for me, I just wanted to have that experience also. And once the opportunity was there, I was like, why not?
No,
Yeah.
I hear you. And then when you moved over, was it a major culture shock for you?
It wasn't a major culture shock. I'd been here one time before on holiday, the year before.
Okay.
Right. And my husband had been here a couple of times because there's a head office here where he works. So he's been to the Middle East a couple of times with work.
Okay.
And there was always this possibility and this opportunity that, there may be, an opportunity there. Anyway, so we came for a holiday. He was here for work. We then came over, and I kind of got to look at, because the thing is, sometimes you have a preconceived notion of what something's going to be like, what a place is like, what a person is like. And unless you put yourself in their shoes, or you immerse yourself in this new place, only then are you going to find it, oh, this is what it's like. This is what, you need to try it to go, okay, fine, I like it. And we were here for holiday, and I loved it. And I was like, this is a cool place. And this is, I got a taste for it. And then we put a plan into motion, and there were opportunities, and we grabbed it. And 9 months later, we moved.
Sure. What are some of the things you don't like about Dubai?
I don't think there's things that I don't like. I think there's things that I prefer Cape Town, where I prefer Cape Town over
Jo-Dee.
Dubai.
Talk to us.
I think, listen, I can tell you there are a lot of things that people would say is wrong with South Africa, wrong with Cape Town, and a lot of things that the Middle East does right. But there's honestly no place like home. The people aren't as colorful in every sense of the word. Like they don't have the humor that we have. That's what I miss the most, is South African humor. And I think we are trendier in a way, and we are just a little bit more just colorful. You know what I mean? As a people, we are Cape Townians or South Africans. But one thing that I really do love is the fact that, and it's something so simple, is the respect that people have for each other here, and for rules and authority is something that is unmatched, something that I've never experienced anywhere else. Everything is clean, very clean. And there's just, there are rules, and people just follow it.
Sure.
Simple things that make life seamless for everyone else. Whereas it's like you need to walk on the left, and people just walk on the left.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's simple things like that people just do here, and it just makes things work.
Sure.
So that's really cool. So it's a very efficient place to be in. Anything you want, which also kind of makes you a little spoiled because you can be at home and lazy and you need an ice block for your cool drink. I can call someone or press a button on an app and it will be at my doorstep in 15 minutes.
What? And are we talking about Amazon now? Or are we talking about a personal?
There are so many different things and apps
Okay.
and applications that you can get on, that you can get literally anything you want. I went out the other day and my hair dryer blew and I had half done hair and my hair was half the hair was wet and I needed to go somewhere and I literally ordered a hair dryer and it was at my doorstep, no jokes, in about 15 minutes.
Sure. So you
So
say,
those kind of things are that's really great. It's very safe here.
yeah,
So, as a woman, I can walk around at whatever time at night. I can get into a cab by myself and not feel like I need to look over my shoulder at any point. So that kind of relief is amazing. But listen, the natural beauty is, I mean, South Africa wins every time. Cape Town wins every time.
Cape Town wins.
Yeah.
Jo-Dee, I appreciate you sharing that. I couldn't agree more. The weather, the food, the food. Talk to
I
us about
know,
the
the
food.
food,
Are
the
you
food.
missing? Are you missing
I
Cape Town
am.
food?
I am. Listen, one thing I must say about Dubai in particular, you can literally get any type of cuisine that you want.
Okay.
Yeah, there's everything from Lebanese to Chinese to Argentinian food. Whatever you want, you can find here. But there's nothing better than a proper South African braai. You
Awesome.
know what I mean?
Hi.
So
So
yeah, so
true.
it's been good. Look, there's a lot of things that I think Dubai lacks, where Cape Town will win every time. But there's pros and cons.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And I think at the end of the day, because people always ask, where is home? And I'm not sure if you ever get that question, like, where's home
Hmm.
for you? And one thing I've realized is that home is actually where the people you care about the most are. So, for
Yeah,
example, if my family was over here in Canada, then Canada would be my home, for
yeah.
example. Um, but speaking about home and family, how have they always been so supportive when it comes to your career? Um, and I tell you why. The reason why I ask you this, Jo-Dee, is because many a times when someone's in the spotlight and they're always, on the go, it can be very tough to, number one, find a partner if they are single,
Hmm.
and number two, have a family if that's still something you'd want to do in terms of be out in the spotlight. For someone that's watching, that is single, that is in the spotlight right
Yeah.
now, and that wants to start a family, what's like one or two things you'd encourage them to look for in a partner?
Well, I think my journey has been a little different because I got married, before I fully entered and integrated into this industry. So
Okay.
there was that came long before that, and then I also had a child many years into my marriage. I mean, I think we were married for more than 7 years before Boston came along.
Okay.
So I've had that experience of having just having it be me and him and traveling together and being together and just being just us. So, but I think if you are going to be in a relationship and you are entering into this kind of industry, I think, or having whatever career it is, I think you just need to have a supportive partner. I mean, bottom line is you need to support each other. You need to know what your goals are, and you just need to be behind each other 100%. I think,
Mm.
and it's always nice when someone believes in you, when someone pushes you, and when someone celebrates you every chance that they get.
So true. And I'm glad that you've got that. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you've got. It's interesting when watching an interview with you. You were on the espresso show and you had Boston on your lap, and I think it was Leanne Williams.
Yes.
She made a comment and saying, you guys were at school together,
Yeah.
and just seeing you having a kid, and your response was so refreshing. It was interesting. Your response was, I think the conversation was, what it's like, being a mother, and your response was that it's so effortless. You know,
Yeah.
it was such a joy being a mom for Boston. Now, I'm sure, Jody, like the show, which is driven daily, there were times where, things felt maybe like it was an effort. Can you perhaps take us to a time where, you weren't as driven and motivated as you are right now? And can you share with us that moment of transition as well, how you got out of it?
Just within my career, you mean?
Um, Particularly a situation where, whether it's in the career or personal life, that kind of was a turning point for you.
Yeah. I think when before I, did this, before I entered into this career full time, I was working in corporate for a while. And I always knew that it wasn't where I was supposed to be, but it was always the safe like I'm one of those people that I need to tick my boxes, so I went to university, I studied, I then entered the corporate world
Hmm.
because that was the safer thing to do. You first needed to solidify that before you can do the fun job or the
Mhm.
other job. But I think, and then for a long time I was doing, well, for a while I was doing the graveyard shift. When I finally did get into radio and someone gave me a shot, I was doing the graveyard shift, and then I would go back, take a nap, and then wake up and go do my corporate job,
Sure.
and then come home, sleep, and then get up at midnight and go and do my 1 to 4 a.m. Graveyard shift job at RTFM. But I just wanted it so much, so I was happy to do it.
Yeah.
And those were some of the best times that I think anyone starting in radio, like there's something special about, starting from the bottom now a year kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's something special about that grind at that level. So it really taught me so much, and I was able to kind of find out who exactly I want to be and what I want to be and what I want to bring across to my audience. So I think that was a difficult time before, when I was trying to make that leap, because
Okay.
I was like, am I just doing this for fun? Can I actually make a career out of that? So, and then at some point I took the leap of faith and I quit my job. And
Sure.
and then I did radio full time. I was doing graveyard shift, and then I was just doing stand-ins whenever someone was not there.
Mhm.
And there was one point where someone wasn't there, and they asked me to stand in, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And
Jody, and not to interrupt, that moment of when you quit your job, was that like a stressful moment, or was that a moment of, hey, I can do this, let me just do this one time?
I mean, of course, it was stressful but I just knew that I wasn't happy there, and that I needed to do this, and I needed to take that leap of faith. And I was married at that time already. So luckily, and there's where that amazing partner comes into play, because he was like, I can see that you're not happy. Like, let's do this, because I think there was that belief in me, and then I needed to believe in myself as well. And
Mhm.
and I think once you put yourself in the pathway of where you're supposed to be going, things will just come.
Hmm.
But you're going to need to work hard at it. You're going to need to really want it. You're going to need to, focus and do that properly. And then at the same time, you're going to need to have something to back it up. So you're going to need to have some sort of talent. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Because
True.
sometimes we all I wish I could be a singer. Like, I would love to do that, but I'm not going to quit my job and go and sing professionally, because I suck at singing. I can't sing, you know?
Okay. Okay.
So,
But
so this is the
you'd actually
thing.
love to sing. You'd actually
I
love
would
to
I
be
would love to
in your
sing. I would
next
love
life.
to be a
Yeah.
performer and sing on stage and dance. But you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
sometimes we also need to be realistic with what we
Mm.
want. It's nice to have these dreams and this is amazing, but let's also be real. So you need those
True.
people around you that's going to tell you, like, listen, your voice is not that great. Maybe don't sing
Yeah.
for life.
Yeah.
You're not going to make any money.
No, I
But
hear you.
yeah, so
Thanks for touching on that part of
mm,
quitting the job, and then of course you mentioned you went now full time into the radio industry.
yeah, full time into the radio industry. I met some amazing people on my journey trying to get into the space, because that's also very difficult. trying to get into the space, trying to have someone that's going to listen to you, or that's going to even see you or take a meeting with you. And I was lucky enough to meet some people who gave me a chance, who gave me the time of day, who gave me 20 minutes, who listened to what I had to say and maybe saw something in me and then was like, listen, okay, fine, let's do some tests with you. Let's let you learn the board. Let's do a voice test.
Sure.
And it just kind of grew from there.
Jo-Dee, I want to go to that part of where you mentioned, when someone saw something in you. And of course, if you're just joining right now, I want to thank you so much for giving us your heartbeat, spending it with myself and Jo-Dee. Jo-Dee, that part where, because everyone wants that moment in their life where someone can give them that break, man.
Yeah.
What would you say was it about you that allowed you to get that break? Now I know there's a luck aspect to it, but besides that, can you think of something else that perhaps got you in that door?
I think first of all, perseverance. Like, make yourself a nuisance. If there's someone that you want to speak to, someone that you want to see, send that email, knock on that door, phone that person, go there and make yourself a nuisance, because you're going to need to be persistent and be like, yo, this is who I am. Please, I need you to listen to what I have to say. And luckily I had that person who took that meeting with me, and that person was the program manager at Heart FM. And I took a meeting with him, and initially he was looking for a producer. And I remember him saying, these are the shows we have. These are the shows that require producers. And he had a board, and it had the shows where the producer slots were. And on the other side, he had the presenters. And I said, okay, cool. But what does it take for me to get from that side of the board to that side of the board? Yeah. And he was like, oh, do you want to be on air? And I was like, yeah, that's where I want to be. So don't talk to me about that. I want to be there.
Yeah.
And, there was a training program that was happening at that time. And I fell into it with a couple of other people. And, we did some voice tests. We did lessons to learn the board and the desk. And then, I just went from there, and it grew. And then, like I said, there were those spots that were open or little stand-ins and opportunities. And I was just front and center, pick me, I'll do it, But, you had to also prove yourself. So, that's what I did. And it worked out.
Sure. Jo-Dee, it sounds like there was such a common theme here, and that theme is that persistence and that constant tenacity. Where does that come from, Jo-Dee? Is it have you seen it in the family? Was your mom someone that was like? Where does that come from? Where do you think?
I mean, look, my mom was a single mom for most of our life, and she had to raise 4 kids on her own, which she did, and put everyone through university, and I think we turned out okay. Some of us turned out okay.
Absolutely.
But I think she also always had a can-do attitude. I remember when I finished school, I worked abroad for a little bit, and I came back, and I was working for a company, and I wanted to go to university, and I knew it wasn't a case of, oh, you had a what do you call it, a
bursary,
not a bursary, but like a you don't have like your college fund or your school fund that you go. It's like no one's going to pay for you to go, so I was like, oh, there's not going to be any money to do this. And she was like, well, can you get into university? Like, get in, and then you sort that out later. So don't see the problem first, like, oh, I don't have money to pay for the fees. Get in first, and then we sort that out. And so that's what I did. I applied, I got in, and for almost all my complete degree, the whole three years that I was there, I got a bursary every single year.
Wow.
You had to, I don't know if it's still like that, but you could, if you got an A for certain modules, you would get you would get like a rebate for it. You would get a bursary for those. So I was like, okay, cool. So if I do well, they're going to pay for it. So that's what we did. And we did that, and, half of it was paid for. So it worked out. So I think that kind of attitude of, let's first get in, and then we'll sort out that later on,
Yeah.
instead of focusing on the problem first, you're just going to waste your time.
Sure. And, such a powerful point. And Jody, it really leads me to that next point of, there's someone that's watching right now that is feeling like this year, the new year is going to be similar to the previous year. And
Yeah.
they're feeling like, you know what, why do I even try? For that person that's feeling hopeless right now, Jody, what are some words that you'd speak to that person's spirit right now?
Um, I think, listen, anything is possible, literally. And it sounds
Yeah.
cliche and it sounds silly and it sounds stupid, but it's like, I'm a girl from Cape Town, I'm a girl from Belhar. I went to
Mm.
public school. There's nothing special about where I come from or who I am. It's just, there are opportunities everywhere, and you just need to kind of make it happen,
Yeah.
and be okay with starting from the bottom. Be okay with starting over sometimes, which is what I'm doing now. Be okay with learning and asking questions, and being in a position where you don't know and you
Yeah.
need someone else to lead you. And hopefully you have a great mentor, or you have someone great to look up to, or and I hope that for everyone, that everyone has that person in their workplace that they can learn from, and that's willing to teach.
Yeah.
So I think just, opportunities are everywhere. You just need to have a clear idea of what it is that you want to do,
Mm.
and then put those steps in place and make it happen. And it's been difficult for me, because I think this last year, I come from having a fairly good career. I was happy where I was. Cape Town made me very happy. My job made me extremely happy. But
Mm.
I knew that it was time for a new challenge, and
Mm.
it was difficult. Like last year, moving and being in a place where no one knows you, no
Yeah.
one knows my body of work, no one knows what I can do. So now I'm going to have to, I don't have that network anymore. So now I'm going to have to be like, oh, I'm Jo-Dee. I'm a radio presenter. I can do this. This is what I can do. Like, give me a shot. So I'm at that point now where I'm like, pick me, pick me. Let me show you what I can do,
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with starting again and being like, yo, let me reintroduce myself and let me show you what I
Mm.
can do.
So
So,
true. So true. Thanks for
yeah,
sharing that, Jody.
no
That was
problem.
really
Yeah,
encouraging. And I think there's a lot of us that is in that stage of starting over. A lot of us in that stage of I need to now reintroduce myself because I cannot be living the old life anymore. And
yeah,
one thing that I take from what you are saying, especially from your mom, is having that can-do attitude, and also secondly having someone that can also guide you and show you the ropes in terms of a mentor.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Jody, we've got around 10 to 15 minutes left. Don't know where the time flew. However, we want
yeah.
to take it to the stage now where we have some fun rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
I love it. Yes, let's go.
Okay, awesome. You got to take a sip or something because this is what
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is.
Oh, I was gonna be intense. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go. Do you like my cup? Let me see. It
What does it say?
says, yeah, well, no, fine.
Where did you get that?
Someone, um, Boston's reading teacher, our friend
Uh-huh.
Jill, teacher Jill, she actually gave this to us before we left. And it
Hmm.
says, yeah, well, no, fine, which is kind of like one of those random things that South Africans say, I guess.
Yeah, it reminds me of something my late uncle used to say. He used to say, whenever people are laughing, and at the end of the laugh, they always end off with, "Yeah, no," and
Yeah, no, yeah.
and then this makes us laugh again because now someone says it again after the laugh. But
Exactly. No, no, no. Exactly.
yeah, all right, here we go. So,
Hmm.
question. Here we go on the count of three. One, two, three. Jody, if you could choose between one of these three, which one would you choose and why? Being able to fly, number one, being invisible, number two, or being able to read people's minds whenever you want to.
Oh, read people's minds. I want to know what's going
Whoa.
on in your head. I want to know what boys are thinking.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
okay. That was an easy one, eh?
Yes.
You wouldn't want to fly or be invisible?
I mean, that would be fun, but no, I want to read your mind.
Okay. Next one. Cake, cookies, or ice cream for the rest of your life. You
Oh,
have to choose one dessert for the rest of your life.
I do. That's very difficult. I do like ice cream.
What
Ice
kind
cream,
in
yeah.
particular? Do you have a favorite?
I do. I love, and a lot of people don't like this, but choc mint ice cream. I love mint ice cream or anything fudge, but not, I love chocolate, but not chocolate ice cream.
What is it about the choc mint that you like so much?
I don't know. I don't know. It's like refreshing, but
Yeah,
it's yummy and it's creamy. Yeah, it's
yeah,
good.
fresh breath.
Mint. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You must have had ramen raisin before, eh?
Ramen raisin is so good. There was, yeah, ramen raisin.
We try wherever I go, different places. I always ask, "Do you
You
have
gotta
ramen
have
raisin?"
it.
It reminds you of home, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Did you ever have a Coke float
Yeah, and
with
I know
ice cream and Coca-Cola?
Coca Cola. Have you ever
With ice
been?
cream.
Have you ever been in the SA back in the day where it's at Sea Point, Milky Lane?
Mm-hmm.
You remember
Yeah,
Milky Lane?
yeah. I did. Yeah,
Shame.
it's good.
Yeah. What's your favorite song that really gears you up when you're having a little bit of a slump? Like, what's your favorite song or genre that you like to play?
I do love reggae music. I'm a big reggae
Mm,
music fan.
come on.
I love reggae music and I love rock music, I like
Okay.
soft rock. So I'm a big fan of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I do love Bob Marley. I love Damian Marley. So definitely some reggae music, I'm going to
Some
say.
reggae of Bob Marley. Which one comes to mind? That's one of your favorites.
Um, uh, Could You Be Loved? Probably my favorite. But I'm more, at the moment, I'm loving Damian Marley. Yeah, I love
Really, eh?
Damian Marley. Yeah.
You know, that's the song that you mentioned. Could it be love? How does that one go again?
No, you're not going to do that to me now. Please, you are not going to do that to me now.
I was hoping you didn't see me on
Yeah.
the.
Also, there's actually there's a local. I mean, I know that you know which song I'm talking about. There's actually a do you remember the group Black Noise, South African
Yeah.
group Black Noise? And there's a version that they do that I really like of that song, but it's
Okay.
called Africa Could You Be Loved, which is
Gotcha. Now I know
yeah, I
Black
love that
Noise is
song.
more into the hip hop, right? But is that a hip
Correct.
hop version or still
Yeah,
a
yeah.
reggae
It's still
version?
it's very similar, but it's good.
Gotcha. So, who in the industry would you like to work with in the South African industry and in overseas? Who would
Ooh,
one person be?
I think, you know what, in my particular industry, I think I've been very lucky to work with all the vets
Okay.
in the industry. And I was blessed and privileged to work with people that I grew up listening to you. You know, I worked with Sugar for many years on a show, and, you know, she's amazing. And I worked with Ryan O'Connor and Jeremy Harris. So
Okay.
I've had that opportunity. So I think I'm good there. I think I've worked
Yeah,
with the
you've
people that
ticked.
I would want to work. I mean, there are plenty more that I would love to work with, um, but I was lucky to work with amazing people: Tyron Paulson, Diggy Bongs, like just people, Tracy Lang, who are just
Yeah,
great, and who I was privileged enough to get to learn from. You know,
gotcha. Gotcha. And
yeah.
in the international side of things,
Yeah, in particular, or just in life.
just yeah, in general in the world, international.
Um, I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
Interview
There's
anyone you'd like to interview?
yeah, definitely a lot of people
Yeah.
that I would like to interview, that I would like to chat to. I do love music is what I love. So I would definitely love to chat to some of my favorite musicians. I think Anthony Kiedis, the lead singer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, is definitely
Okay.
someone I would want to chat to. Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, because I
Okay.
just think that their approach to music is just it comes from a place of experience and love. And I've watched so many interviews with them, and just the way that they, when you can hang on someone's every word, and when
Hmm.
they speak in a way that kind of paints a picture for you, I just find that interesting and enlightening. So
No,
yeah.
I hear you. I will definitely clip this out and send it to him, and hopefully by the
Yes.
end of this year. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Your daughter Boston. What's one or two things you've learnt about yourself with being a mom of Boston? What has she taught you?
um Whew. I think to be excited about every single thing, because she is
Mm,
one of those people she's just literally everything is just a new experience, and she's excited to try something new, to do something. And I've never seen someone so excited for, the smallest gift, or an experience that you and I might take for granted, or, oh, it's just another animal that we're seeing. And for her, it's like the best thing, and it's amazing, and let's find out more about it, and let's learn about it. So
Yeah.
I think just like approaching things with more excitement and gratitude, and just like she's
Sure.
so curious, and I think it makes me want to just learn and know a little bit more about whatever it is that I'm doing.
That's wonderful. It's amazing what they can teach us, hey? Just
Yeah,
about being human
yeah,
again. And
yeah.
so we've got two more questions left, Jo-Dee. When it comes to your favorite South African dish and favorite Dubai dish, what would that be?
Ooh, look, Middle Eastern food is amazing. I've been eating a lot of
Mm,
Palestinian food and Lebanese food. So I love that. I love that because everything
nice.
is super healthy, everything is colorful. And, I'm one of those people that love to have a million different things on my plate. I
Okay.
love that kind of family style serving where there's a little bit of everything and you're passing plates around, and
Yeah.
that's what I like. So there are a lot of places like that here, which I like.
Nice.
Um, but I think when it comes to South African food, I mean, like I said, did you ask me South African food? Is that what you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a proper lamb chop on the braai.
Sure. Starak
I mean,
nou.
there's nowhere else that you can find it like you can in South Africa, like you can in Cape Town, and then also a proper Cape Town style curry.
Mm.
Yeah,
Now, Jody,
yeah.
it really begs the question. We have to then
Hmm.
ask this one. Your favorite South African dessert?
Oh, hands down, peppermint crisp tart.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ah.
that's what I like. Yeah, peppermint crisp tart. I have to have that every Christmas. And there's a South
Mm,
African store here in Dubai that we often
okay.
go to that has the Nestle caramel that you need, the tennis
Nice.
biscuits, the
Ingredients, eh?
original, the peppermint crisp chocolates that you need for that. And I'm quite like a standard. I don't use like the, what do you call it, like the gelatin and all the other stuff in the peppermint crisp tart. I like just those few ingredients: your cream, your biscuits, your tennis biscuits, your caramel, and your chocolate. Done.
Sure. You
Easy.
had you know what you like, eh?
Yeah, and I just like it just like that, plain, and it's good. It's
Mm.
good.
Your cooking skills, what would you say it's like? Are you more of a cooker or a bake or cook?
I like both. In my family, though, in the household, Brent, my husband, is the person that is doing the cooking. He's
Oh,
the chef
shout
of
out
the
to you,
house. So
Brent.
he's no, honestly, he's a great
Mm,
cook. So
mm,
90% of the time, he is
okay.
doing the cooking.
Sure, you're living every woman's dream right now, eh,
I
Jerry?
know, and he's so good at it. Also, yeah. So I
I
just sit there and watch the chef.
yeah. Yeah. Hopefully he's not the naked chef, but hey, you
I
know what?
mean,
It's
I'm
a
not
family show.
complaining. No,
Yeah.
I'm complaining.
So Jody, yeah, we have to laugh on that one. I was just getting a visual. I think we're going to do some B-roll of Brent in an apron.
Yeah, you should.
So, Jody, any last words for the people of South Africa as we end off the show? A lot of South Africans are watching right now. Any last words for those from South Africa?
I miss you.
Oh,
I think, I miss my people. I miss my people. There's no better audience than a South African audience, because I think we are loyal to a point. We lift each other up, and and I've seen it so much now because people are clapping for you,
mm.
from far away. People are sending love from far away. And it's just been so amazing to see. So I'm sending that love right back because I appreciate it so much.
Wonderful, and I'm sure they feel it right through the screens. There's a new question that I want to ask. I've never asked any guests this, and I'd like to
Yeah.
start with you, Jody.
Mm.
There will be a time where and we're going to end off the show, so don't you worry. I know we both got busy schedules now. When you watch the show, let's say a couple of years from now, and you come to this portion of this podcast right now, and you are watching it on your TV screen, what would you tell Jody that's watching right now? any words of encouragement for Jo-Dee that's watching right now?
Remain consistent and just know that it's coming. It's coming.
Sure.
It's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
Dailies, none other than Jo-Dee Butler. It's coming. Your
It's
blessing
coming,
is
baby.
coming.
It's coming. Yeah.
Your blessing, everyone's blessing is coming. Jo-Dee, it's been a
Yes.
pleasure. And like we always say on the show before we end, just remember, we are not here just to survive. We are here to thrive. And Jo-Dee, much love to you and all the best for the future, eh?
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for having me.
Awesome stuff. You take care.
Bye.
Bye.